So I'm going to talk to you about something. Just ask a question. So, question is it okay to feel okay all of the time, even when there's stuff going on in your life, even when there's negative events happening, or what would normally be perceived to be negative by somebody, even when something's literally exploding in your face, or say that you're experiencing somebody else's karma coming out through them in some sort of way. The question is this necessary? Is that actually attached to the event that's going on? Or is that actually just a mind-made response that your mind has come up with in order to defend some sort of sense of self that it feels like it has to keep up with? Then another question arises, which is, what is that sense of self, and what makes that self believe that it has to keep itself in a specific way? Why is that sense of self afraid of change? Why is it afraid of the unknown? Why does it feel like it has to know everything? These are a bunch of different questions that come up, you know? And then, like, this is kind of just more like an introduction, I guess, if you want to call it like that, video. But what I'm trying to get to is just a place of getting your mind to where it starts to question things in a different way. Not out of fear, but out of genuine curiosity of if it's possible to live in a different way. And if it is possible to live in a different way, which it is, how could we go about doing that if we want to? Obviously, not obviously, very obvious to me, but not obvious to a lot of other people, is that their state of consciousness that they're in is directly reflecting their, first of all, their state of being with themselves, but also it's reflecting a portion of, oh man, sorry, I just got a message from somebody and it like distracted me for a second. What was I talking about? Okay, so basically, anyways, I was going back into the ego and stuff like that. But the whole point that I'm trying to get to, though, is that we can start to consciously change the way that we react to things, because we want to experience life in a different way. If you're experiencing anxiety or depression in any way, shape, or form, then most likely you want to change that and experience life in a different way. And what that entails is a shifting of the way that you look at things, and starting to understand that the negative and the positive are both the same thing being expressed through different avenues. And then also to understand that as you change the direction of focus and you start seeing that, meaning that there's no difference between negative and positive. There's no such thing as polarity like that. It's manifest into this world, but it's only manifest because it's something that your mind latches onto in order to separate itself from other things. So if we can move past all that and then understand also that every experience that you have is a catalyst for your growth in some sort of way. And if it's used correctly, then for one, it doesn't need to be used again. And then secondly, even when it does come up, then there's no trauma or any sort of negative emotions that are attached to it, because you've learned how to react to it. And the whole lesson in the catalyst of life and like all the stuff that happens in life is to learn how to be, how to enjoy and experience life in its fullest without getting caught up in the stories, and so that you can experience the story as if you're a moviegoer watching a movie in a way. But like a movie fanatic, you know, like those people who really, really enjoy watching all movies, not just really, really good movies, but also tragic movies, also stupid movies, also C and B grade movies, you know, like all movies. And it's the trick of life is to become the connoisseur of life in a way, where you start to be able to taste the delicacies of the beauties of these small aspects of life that normally are either ignored or completely disregarded by people because they take them as being negative. So it's like learning how to enjoy even the most bitter of wine, if you want to call it like that, like the waters and the wines of life, to become a connoisseur of the tasting rather than the need for the drunkard, if that makes any sense. And also you can use that connoisseurness in order to actually start to enjoy the buzz that comes from it, if that makes any sense. So once you start to do this, then you start to understand that these perspective shifts are what is actually bringing you a different perspective on life, which is more positive. So if you're shifting your perspective all the time and you start to get really, really comfortable and feel really good with change and with dynamism or the dynamic aspects or nature of life, then what happens is that you start to experience everything in a different way. You start to see all of this stuff happening around you, and instead of enjoying the good things and hating the bad things, you start to literally enjoy everything in a new way. Not because of what it is that you're enjoying, but because you just enjoy life now. So it's a different aspect. It's looking at life from a different angle. It's changing the way that you look at life from looking at it as a perspective of as a perspective of this experience that I experience is what brings me a sense of fulfillment or happiness, to starting to understand that you bring yourself that sense of fulfillment and happiness, and that thing that's happening is just a expression of it's an expression of you, but it's an expression of creation. And if you start to love creation the same way that you love yourself, but like starting to also change the way that you love yourself so that you can love creation in a new way. But as you start to love creation in a new way, then all of a sudden it doesn't matter what's being created, because you love everything. You love creation. You love the act of creation. You love what creation is. You don't care about the form or the manifestation and the way that things look or what's happening in your life. The only thing you care about is the feeling of love that permeates the entirety of creation. And that's the feeling of coming home. The feeling of coming home is the reinterpretation of everything in your life, to start to see that everything in your life is a projection, first of all, of you, but also that everything in life is beautiful and complex and intricate and absolutely detailed and magnificent in many different ways. And even the things that you think the forms are ugly are still magnificently beautiful and intricate and complex. So it's like, if you look at fractals, right? And you watch fractals, you don't get caught up on how ugly a singular fractal of that whole play of fractals are. Say that you're watching a Mandelbrot set or something like that. And you can look that up if you want to. It's M-A-N-D, I think E-L-B-R-O-T, something like that. Anyway, just look that up on YouTube, and it's basically like just an infinitely zooming in kind of set of fractals. But if you watch that, you don't get caught up on how ugly one singular piece of those fractals are. What you do is you see the entire thing as being a beautiful play of the movement of form. And from the shifting of perspective to being identified with one singular fractal at one singular moment in this whole span of a video, if you want to call it a video, a movie, a lifetime. If you get caught up on one singular fractal, then all of a sudden you miss the beauty of the entire show. You think, oh, this fractal is so irregularly shaped. It's not right. It doesn't fit in with all of the other ones. But yet it's still there. And it does fit in because it's there. So it wouldn't be there if it didn't fit. Otherwise, the whole experience would not be what it is. So obviously it fits in some sort of way. It's just your perspective that has caused it to become distorted. It's your perspective that is actually ugly, if you want to call it ugly. And it's not even that your perspective is ugly, it's just that you are ignorant to the beauty that is being unveiled to you because your focus and attention is on such a small, minute aspect of ugliness that you've lost the ability to see the whole as being something that's absolutely beautiful and radiant. I don't know why this video went in this direction, but apparently that's the direction the video needed to go into. I just wanted to kind of bring this up just to, for one, give myself some topics to talk about. Because that first part of the video, that all those questions that I had, I'm gonna make a video on each one of those questions, answering them. And I know that I haven't made as many videos lately, but I've just been busy, you know, working and stuff. But and the work is pretty fantastic, by the way. I've been doing readings and stuff at a crystal shop. So for one, I get to work with crystals all day, and two, I get to have this emotionally fulfilling moments with people where I just sit here and I feel their emotions, and I cry with them, and I talk to them, and I have these amazing experiences with them for, you know, a short amount of time. And I get to just keep doing that every day. Or not every day, but like, you know, like whenever I feel like it, whenever I feel like going in, and I get paid for it. So it's pretty fantastic. Slightly stagnating in a way, but it's really not a big deal for me because it doesn't feel like stagnation because I'm growing internally as this external manifestation changes. So even being in a situation of change and a situation of transition almost, it's okay to feel completely comfortable in that because you know, for one, what's coming to you later. And two, and that's just because of confidence and because you know who you are. And then two, just because it's okay to be wherever you are right now. And in reality, it's best to totally and completely accept where you are right now and to love it, really. And to see that this is who you are and what you brought yourself to be. And that no matter if you're the richest person in the world or the poorest person in the world, it has no difference. It makes no difference because it's all external phenomena. What the most important thing in this lifetime is to learn to become a master of your emotions and to become a master of your mind, become a master of your body, become a master of your spirit, or to allow your spirit to master you, if you want to call it like that. Because you will never become a master of your spirit, but you can become a master of your mind and your body. And you can use the ego, meaning use the ego as slave is the wrong word, but it's like it's been using you as a slave for the whole time. So now you just shift the relationship to where you tell your ego what to do, and then it does it because it has to, because it's you as well. It's like becoming responsible for yourself. Very important as well. I have many more things to come with this, honestly. Like, I could go on talking for the next like hour or two, and I will, honestly. I think I'm gonna make a couple more videos today about the stuff that I was talking about in the very beginning with the ego. This has gone in sort of a similar direction, but a little bit different. So I don't know, we'll see how this goes. Obviously, you know, at the moment, I may not be changing millions of people's lives, but at the same time, I feel as though I'm moving into a space where I'm capable of doing that. And I feel as though I'm moving into a space where I am actually holding the vibrational frequency of what it is that I want to see in other people. And it's constant, consistent, and it feels beautiful, honestly. So I've been having catalysts come up in my life, and I have had 0 negative reactions to almost any of them. And I mean, I'll feel the negativity come up or whatever, but I just choose not to identify with it, and I choose to let it go. And then it goes away within a couple of seconds, literally. Like, it's gotten to a point now where it's like, it doesn't even want to come up anymore at all, because it knows that it's just going to be shut down immediately, you know? So it just, even, I mean, I feel vibrations and energies from other people. I just choose not to hold on to them. And it's like, I was so sensitive at one point that I would pick up all these vibrations, and all of a sudden it would just destroy me. Like, it literally would just completely mess me up. And at one point, right as I had my like big awakening and like shift of consciousness and, you know, a couple month long ego death or whatever, in that time period, I literally I did not know how to control any of these energies. Now I've done enough work on my consciousness where I know how to control my mind and my body energies in order to be able to keep myself in a specific state of consciousness all the time. And I find that beautiful, and I would love to be able to share that with other people. And I know that I will be, and I have been, but you know, I would like to expand that. And this is just putting it out to the universe, but I would like to expand that to be able to help millions and millions of people, so that they can shift their perspective and their consciousness, and they can see that they had the power all along, and that all they had to do was just shift their perspective and then start to really work on keeping that perspective as their main perspective, because your perspective is always shifting, it's always changing. So it's good to narrow it down, just get it to where you find what you enjoy, what you like, and you just keep it to that, and that's it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will definitely make more videos, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you. I love you.